This is what it looks like with the lights on. That's it with the lights off. So
I am just now realizing how small this emulator is.
it is very small to the point that, like, how can you see this or play on this, like, with any level of skill? This is the everyday carry on the cheap from Heavyweight Sound _L. You can see that it's definitely handmade by an artisan here.
Full DIY vibes for sure.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Carry the Wave, the weekly podcast where we nerd out about all things EDC gear and maybe try to teach you a thing or two while we're at it. I'm Bernard, the founder of EverydayCarry.com, and I'm joined by our editor, Mikey.
What's up?
So today, we'll be highlighting and reacting to some of the most popular EDC Pocket Dump submissions from our community. We've curated our favorites from our Facebook group, our Discord server, and subreddit where people share and discuss EDCs on the daily. So before we get to the EDC photos, I just want to note that if you're listening to this episode as an audio podcast, you might want to instead watch this on our YouTube channel just for the visual experience. The trade-off is you'll have to see our faces, but I think these EDCs are worth the trouble. You can find us at youtube.com/everydaycarry. And another note about submissions that get featured here, we are in the process of updating our website, everydaycarry.com, with a more modern experience to help you get the most out of our buying guides and news roundups that Mikey worked so hard on putting together. So as a result, we had to temporarily pause the old submission page, but we do have a new forum on the website for sharing your EDC that way, if you'd rather not share in one of our social media communities. But sit tight. Let us cook. We'll have submissions highlighted in our content again in an even more meaningful way in the future.
We hear you. We hear you.
So, yeah. A lot of people love their EDCs, and that's why we're making these videos. But before we get to the photos, you want to do a quick pocket check?
Let's do it. Yeah, so I'm still in my technical kick. I purchased a couple of things for myself recently. One of them is this Melkoff MDC flashlight. And I don't know why I didn't pick this up sooner, because it is literally the perfect flashlight for me.
It looks very you.
It's not that expensive compared to like modern flashlights. It's 95 CRI emitter, simple 3-stage, mechanical clicky. It's perfect. It's like perfectly anodized, potted electronics, everything I love of a super tough flashlight. I really don't know why I didn't pick this up earlier.
Yeah. Is Melkoff an old brand? It sounds familiar.
They're around.
Sounds like Candle Power Forum days for me.
They're peers of MacGizmo and HDS and all those guys. Yeah, okay. So they're OG USA made, super surefire era. Yeah, so he's been around.
And the design is very like classic enthusiast flashlight.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have the 1-inch head and the mechanical tail clip and the knurled middle. So yeah, classic EDC. And then
how much does that cost?
This one
it's like fairly affordable.
Yeah, it starts at $130, but then you immediately get a 20% discount, so it's like $112.
Oh, okay.
I mean, compared to like
that is affordable for like compared to like a McGizmo or something in that tier. Yes, sure.
Plus, this literally will outlive you. I'm without a doubt. Like, this is like super hard anodized, more than anything you've ever seen, and it doesn't have it comes with its own like lithium battery, like a removable lithium battery, so pretty much will last forever. So I'm really happy with this.
Nice. And I know those enthusiasts love the removable, user replaceable lithium ions.
Yeah. And then I mentioned in a previous show that I've been into fixies lately. I've been talking with Big Idea Design, and they recently came out with their own fixed blade. This is the Lookout. So this is one of their kicks. They just launched a Kickstarter for this. I think they're delivering soon. But it's a simple.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a nice, simple. It's under. I'm targeting fixed blades now that are under 3 inches. So they're kind of like a bit more for EDC. So this is M390 with titanium scales. Really nice. And what
that's fairly premium. But then again, Big Idea Designs. So.
Yeah, and what I really like is they include 2 Kydex sheaths with it. One for lefty and one for righty. So just on that alone, this is like mega points for me that I can carry this in my left-hand pocket and left-handed. So tactical duo for the past few weeks. I'm really, really happy with it. How about you?
I'm trying something different. So people at home, if they're watching, I'm wearing a lot of gold. That's not the cool stuff. I'm doing a bunch of brass. So I usually have like titanium silver stuff. That's kind of the color I'm liking most days. But I am trying some brass stuff. I have this new keychain that I have to get used to. And let me pop this off. So
Ooh.
this is a Craig Hill brass. It's like a polished brass keychain. And then I got rid of all the other stuff on my keychain that I don't need, by the way. So like no more cologne sprayers and like pocket flashlights and little doodads like that. This is the Ridge key case, but in the new brass. So that's got the matching brass.
Released by the time of this podcast, or
yeah,
upcoming?
It should be out.
All right.
Yeah, no, it'll be out.
Okay, cool.
I've been testing it. Yeah, before it launches.
And I like how your whole background is like set to the mood of.
Yeah, a little bit.
your copper and brass setup.
Yeah, I just dropped this out of my pocket because it doesn't have a pocket clip, but this is a Higa Nakami friction folder.
Nice.
It's gonna focus, yeah.
Classic. Speaking of EDC classics,
yeah,
Higo's been around.
Not too expensive. Yeah. So this is like, I usually don't carry things like these because I like the more futuristic stuff.
Super appropriate. I've been watching Shogun, which you should, by the way. 12 out of 10 show for sure.
Yeah, and then here's the brass wallet. It looks like it's like super patinaed already, but that's kind of how it comes. I've only had like a week or so on these.
How heavy is it?
It actually, compared to it, like it's not that noticeable for it being brass. That's one thing that surprised me about going like a full brass setup. This is probably the most the heaviest in the brass setup. This is the Millspin, made in USA, like machine brass box cutter thing.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm working with. It's like a fully brassed out, kind of gold and black motif. It's a little bit heavy. It's got 2 blades in it, a pen. Oh wait, I do have a flashlight. Forgot. Keep it in my weak side. And then this is the drop AAA.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that heavy?
No, because it's so small.
Okay.
Like it's really only like I only notice the brass heft when it comes to this box cutter. It's because it's just like a big slab.
Yeah,
of it.
I was gonna say
thick and super.
It looks like a solid slab of brass.
Yeah, but everything else is like really manageable. And it's mainly I'm sniffing my hand. It's mainly the smell of that I have to get used to. Yeah. The smell of brass on my hands. Like I remember last night, like I got home and I was like emptying out my pockets or whatever. And then I sat down to eat dinner, and then like I was like putting bread in my mouth. I was like, "What is that smell?" So I have to get used to that. But yeah, that's what I'm working with right now. Yeah, so cool updates. It looks like, well, I mean, at least for me, I'm exploring something different materially and aesthetically. You're kind of in your pocket right now, the tactical pocket. For sure. So that's cool. Let's see what other people are rocking these days.
Let's
yeah. All right. So we're starting with a submission from Mike Underhill in our private Facebook group. So this is their Sunday carry. What do we got here? So we have this Maxpedition pouch with something looped into its Molly webbing. Then we got this is like an O-Light O-Knife. Or sorry, O-Knife, which is like the tool company of O-Light, right? And then
that's also an O-Knife.
Yeah. Otical U1 and carbon. Gerber suspension multi-tool. I believe this is a vape. This is a therm with a Zippo, and I'm sure the Zippo is like tricked out. Let's see, double jet insert. Yeah. And then some
O-Knife Hank also.
O-Knife Hank, and then the Through Night flashlight is looped in here. And then what is this? Right in the Rain ballpoint.
Right. Which is also what was the they make it for Right in the Rain, the pocketable pens. Paka. There you go.
Oh yeah. Paka pens.
Yeah.
POKKA.
Yeah. I love it. Like it's obviously full military scheme, gray and
it's like
olive drab.
OD green, coyote tan. Yeah.
It's really like uncommon brands. You don't really see a lot of these like in general. Like you wouldn't O-Light's been known for so long as being a flashlight company. You don't realize that they're making some really cool stuff on their knife line. So this just proves it. Like even the bead on the knife is O-Light. So nice exploration of other stuff from O-Light. And Gerber suspension tool, not really a common pick, but still an interesting one. Yeah. And classic Through Night flashlight too.
And I would say these are not super expensive brands either,
Mm.
from what I remember. Like Maxpedition pouch is not too expensive.
And
Blue
that's
Knight is not too
old,
expensive.
old EDC
Oh
pouch
yeah,
meta. Like
yeah.
old EDC
This
pouch meta.
I'm sure. I think this is long discontinued. I tried doing some research and I could not find this on their current offering.
Hmm.
Their design Maxpedition's design language has been a bit more modernized and sleek. Like you don't see like this huge standard release buckle from them just on
No.
the front anymore. I don't think. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the other stuff, like the Olight stuff, I don't think it's too expensive. This is probably less than $20. The Odecool U1, I believe. It might be a little bit more because this one's carbon. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, and Gerber suspension, like when you compare it to something like Leatherman Arc, like the brand new thing, it's like not as expensive.
Yeah.
So this is lots of functionality, I think, with a cool motif. Like you said, lesser known brands or not as often carried brands.
Yeah.
So cool stuff. Yeah.
And just like the cohesion of how everything fits together. Like there's
Mhm.
coyote on the therm matching the coyote on the blade, and then the green matches the green, and then the gray. Yeah, I just like the whole cohesion of it.
Yeah, and it does offer functionality like across the board.
Yeah.
Even I guess, well, I was gonna say, oh, it is missing a pry bar, but we did just talk about how they might not be the most useful for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there are things you can pry with in the Gerber suspension multi-tool. Yeah. One last thing though, when I was looking at this, I was like, man, we are seeing a lot of these folding utility knife type things that look kind of like pocket knives. Because this has kind of like a crossbar lock on it and thumb studs, as far as I can tell, right?
That's right.
So this is like an interesting development in just the general EDC product offering to me, like this utility blade, line. So I might do some more research and see what other options are out there, because this could be a compelling option for a lot of people who work with cardboard and that those kinds of crafts often, but they don't want to have a dedicated blade for it.
It solves a lot of problems, right? Like you won't be scared to use it. You won't want to baby it because break the edge, swap in the new blade, you're good to go. If you get like tape gunk on it, no problem. Just replace the blade again. And if you want to travel with it, if it's your old reliable, take out the blade, good to go, right?
Yeah. So thank you, Mike, for the interesting way to start the show.
Yeah, excellent. Keep it up.
And it looks like a bunch of people love it too. So let's move on to the next one. Oh, this is actually a two-parter.
Old favorite.
Our boy Fabio. Yeah. So this is what it looks like with the lights on. And then, am I doing this right? No.
If you hit the arrow.
Yeah, there you go. That's it with the lights off. So not all of this is actually glowing in the dark. So let me go back real quick so you can see the difference. It's really just this like cavity tray that it's on that glows, and I don't imagine they're carrying this. I think it's just for the presentation of this, but the band glows, the phone case glows,
and appropriate
appropriate
face on the Apple Watch. Also, it's like a Fallout Pip-Boy theme with a Fallout show also and showing right now.
That may or may not be Photoshop. I don't know.
Maybe
if that's real. But yeah, so it is cool to see more glow in the dark gear, or like as an accent in things.
Yeah.
And I think most notably it works on this. I believe it's a Rovivon keychain.
One of the classic Rovivons.
Keychain light. Yeah, because I used to carry the glow in the dark Rovivon keychain light. Not only is it like obviously high vis in the dark, but it's also very lightweight. At the expense of like extreme durability, right? But for keychain duty, like I would rather find my keys in the dark than it being able to be like run over by a truck or something.
Speaking of small pry bars, look at that on the lower left. It's the pure distillation. There, that guy. Look, it's a little pry bar.
This guy too.
Yeah, well, the one in the key.
Oh, yeah.
But look at that little.
There's a shadow being cast on it. Yeah, I know. I didn't even see the prying edge on it. It's so small. That's funny, and it's like you have. So this is interesting to me because like we're looking at this pry bar on the left that's connected to what I imagine is
glow fob,
a bead.
Or a glow
yeah,
fob,
it's like a glow. Does it glow? Let's double check. It does.
It does not.
It doesn't glow.
Bamboozled.
Yeah, it doesn't glow, but it's funny just because like you have to add gear. You have to add a small piece of gear to find your other small piece of gear, but then they're both so small. So maybe this is just like an aesthetic appreciation of these trinkets or something, but like practically probably not, optimized there.
But if you think about it, that's a bit more useful than just like a standard product, because now you have a bottle opener on it too, in its smallest, like most compact possible form. But like you said, you need to attach something to find the thing because it's so small. I also like the matching yellow cable. Nice short USB-C cable that's also yellow to match the Ultim stuff. Yeah, pretty cool addition.
Yeah, and then like you said, the rest of it here is lots of Ultim being used. So this looks like a aftermarket Sharpie housing.
Yeah, that's Dango's aftermarket one.
Okay, and then the wallet is also Dango, I believe.
Dango,
yeah,
and some we're overdue an Ultim flashlight. That's the last thing that's not being made in Ultim yet. I've noticed. We've got pens, we've got like keychains, we've got knives. No flashlight yet. And what's interesting is,
why do you think that is?
Ultim is the one thing that is the one plastic that would stand up to flashlight heat because they're using it in vapes, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that nobody's made it yet. Like I've been keeping an eye out because a lot of people have been asking me, "Where's the next Ultim flashlight?" But nobody's made it yet.
Yeah, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe it would just be difficult to manufacture for like a cylindrical light. But then we're looking at pens, like
and vapes,
right here.
Yeah, and vapes also.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So who's gonna do that?
We're waiting on it. Come on, flashlight companies, step it up.
Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess the first company to maybe make one of those?
I'm gonna guess it's probably either gonna be like Convoy or Sofern or one of those guys because they have the mass capability and they can sell it for like an inexpensive price for the enthusiasts, and then enthusiasts will pick it up and like put different pills in it and everything to customize it.
Oh, interesting.
Versus, or it could be an accent. Unlike, I think I may have seen it as an accent in one of the custom makers, like just a ring around the head, like you know how titanium or like zirconium gets added as like as just like an accent strip. So I totally can see the custom makers doing that. But on a mass scale, I can totally see like Sofer and Convoy, those guys trying their hand at it.
Okay, so more of the like budget enthusiast community.
Yeah. Which are the most enthusiast of enthusiasts.
Right. I was gonna guess with my smooth brain like Rovivon or Wuben or something. Because Rovivon like has
Rovivon's getting there, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. So thanks, Fabio, again for another very interesting and aesthetically pleasing submission.
Always a class act. Always good stuff.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next Facebook submission. This one's from Odin Foxtrot. Set for
my
the
weekend.
Guy. Nice.
My guy. So he's got 3 of the classics: Leatherman in black, Skeletal CX, Surefire in black, a contemporary of the Malkoff. And if you open up that what is it? I think he mentions the maker of this. The first one.
Where?
Under the what is it? Nice blade.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So RMJ
Tactical Sparrow.
Yeah, so probably one of the custom makers, and with a custom beat and everything. One thing I do want to point out, if you are looking, if you're also getting into fixed blades like me and they come with sheaths and stuff, and you're looking for a clip that would make it easier to EDC, you should look into UltiClip because they make a bunch of these custom clips that would fit the spacings on most aftermarket like sheaths. Like these are spaced out in a way where you can clip them onto your pocket really easily, and they come in different sizes to accommodate many sheaths. So if you're looking for a clip for your fixie, like this guy, like Odin, or like if they're not doing it custom like Big Idea Design did, UltiClip's the place to go.
This is like I'm not really a fixed blade guy, but this is kind of sick. The shape of it seems more slender and not as like gigantic outdoor fixed blade knife.
You could swap that blade into a flipper. It looks like it has a flipper tab.
Oh,
yeah, and the patterning on the handle is sick also.
Yeah, this is a serious bead, by the way. Is a lion's head. Yep, and then if they want round out their functionality, classic Skeletal CX, Like now they come in a bunch of different colors, but this is I think the classic, right?
Yeah, it comes in all black now. So
Yeah,
Odin,
black and
if you're
carbon.
listening,
Mm-hmm. Oh, true.
can get it full
Yeah,
onyx and
and
surefire
also
back.
just more colorful options. Yeah,
Yeah,
Surefire. Is this like a Legoed, bunch of
possibly,
different things? Because
possibly.
this looks like an E1B backup, like central, body to me, but the tail and the head do not look like what I
Possibly. Yeah, this
remember.
is old
Yeah,
E series
yeah,
stuff where you can Lego the head and the tail and come up with your own
yeah.
flash. Yeah, because the backup head
So
is
very
usually like kind of more bulbous, isn't it? It's not like a
bulbous.
straight
Yeah,
it's not like a straight 1 inch cylinder. Neither is the
yeah.
tail.
And
Yeah.
then I think the tail is also like the button
Is a
is
proud switch.
forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Forward clicks.
So this one would let
Proud
you
switch.
this
Interesting.
one would let you tail stand if he swapped in the tail from something
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
So yeah, there's like, even though it's only 3 items, like you could tell a lot of dialing in has been done by Odin,
This is my
right?
guy.
Yeah, pretty cool. Good stuff. Looks like, yeah, some nice reliable options, cool colorways, classic. Thank you to Odin.
Did you ever get into
Yeah,
beads? Were you ever
people
into
love him.
beads and like those kinds of accents, knives, and stuff?
No, not on my knives and that kind of stuff, but like phone charms, like that kind of stuff
Fair,
on my
fair.
electronics, I thought is cool. Yeah,
Just like a
for my
random
console
Tamagotchi,
handhelds and
the
stuff.
end of your
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Sabenza.
yeah. Or like the little things from like gachapon machines.
Yeah, those are perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like yeah. So those are non-functional, like for sure non-functional, and they're definitely just fun. But we can do the same in the EDC world too. So
My biggest fear always with the beads is I'm scared that they're gonna bang up against the titanium handle and just sting it really hard, and then I'm just like pissed off that why did I even put a bead I'm not using and it just dinged everything. Where it taps my phone screen and then it just dings
it
it.
shatters. That would be
Yeah, or
crazy.
yeah, right. I
Yeah,
probably
that's just
probably user
patina.
error, but yeah, I'm just too scared to make the jump and add that kind of personnel. Although there are like plastic or Ultim beads also, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, just never made that
But I
jump.
appreciate seeing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
appreciate
cool
seeing
seeing
it
it
on
in
other
other people's
people's.
stuff.
Yeah, it definitely. It's just like one extra layer to kind of show,
Hmm.
what your tastes are like.
Yeah.
So, um,
Ooh.
speaking of tastes, this one seems to be lemon flavored.
Hmm.
Uh, we got one from Corey Jenks. This is really high vis yellow stuff. So you got a Surefire, I think
Yeah, 6P or
six
no, no,
P six
that's the
G
G2X. G2.
G2X.
There you
Yes,
go.
G2X in yellow. This is the Polish Ultim CBV Praxis.
Yeah.
I believe this is a
Jotter.
Parker Jotter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the
Another
another
Olight.
O'Toole, Odicle, or what's it called? O knife, Odicle, Odicle,
Oracle.
Odicle.
Oracle.
Yeah,
Oh no.
something like
Here we
that.
go
Hard
again.
to pronounce. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not great at pronouncing brands on this channel.
And a
And then you
yellow
got a
yellow
yellow
dial
dial
Luminox.
Luminox. Yeah,
Nice. You don't see those often. You see orange
yeah,
usually, but yellow, strong
yeah.
option.
It's really cool. I even if you're not a fan of yellow, like even people are saying it looks good.
Yeah. It's
Um,
just like the sheer cohesion of it, right? Like who would have thought bright yellow flashlight, you know?
mm,
And then it matches like the jotter exactly. Like the article is a little orangier to me,
yeah,
but the light and the pen and the watch are just like chef's kiss matched.
yeah. And the Polish Ultim also
Yeah.
seems to go pretty well. Sometimes Ultim can take on like an amberish kind of color with more of a
Yeah,
orange
yeah. True.
tone to
Like a
it. But yeah,
maple syrupy
yeah, I think the
orange.
polish seems to be good.
And then
What are we even talking about now? We're talking about like lemon
I
and
think we're close to
maple, and
lunch.
I think so. Yeah, maybe a little bit past lunch actually. So yeah, this is cool. Another Surefire, and this is it's like
A safety
a
flashlight.
rubber body,
Yeah, it
right?
is. And it's also one of their most affordable lines. That's why they're super popular. You can also get like the
Uh,
therm clips on them to give them a clip and something to hold on to. But they're super popular because they're not as expensive as the anodized aluminum ones. And they do come in those
yeah,
colors. It comes in like safety orange as well. I've seen it in olive drab. and all of that. Coyote. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
affordable. It's surefire, super reliable. Yeah.
600 lumens.
Yeah.
Nice. Then yeah, CVV
And
Praxis.
utility blade
I
again.
think.
Lots of utility
Oh yeah,
blades.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And this, can you pry with this? Not
The
really. Like
corner.
this is not.
And that's a
But
hex.
that's
That's a hex slot also on the tail.
yeah. I feel like this is better for like slotted screws. Like prying with this little.
Maybe a
I don't know.
paint can
Yeah,
or soda
yeah.
can.
Um, but yeah, pretty cool.
You know what
And like
what
again,
this
these
just
are good
reminds me?
brands.
Just to go nerd out about watches a little bit. The
Mm-hmm.
monster, my Seiko monster,
Yeah, Seiko.
the
Yeah.
rarest version of that is the yellow Thailand version, yellow face.
Oh,
So that just reminded me. Very, very few yellow dials out there that are really cool. And yeah,
yeah.
for the Seiko monster, the yellow one was the rarest Yeti of all. Sorry, the rarest monster of all.
Monster.
Yeah,
Yes. I kind of want to see what this looks like. I don't know. I think it's you only get loom
in
on
those
the
slots, in the hands.
cardinal,
Yeah,
yeah, and
the
then on
three
the
p.m. and
yeah.
then
Interesting.
the 12 o'clock pip. I think that's
Like
actual loom.
the more I look at this watch, like the more confused I get because it's like kind of tactical and it kind of has
Yeah,
like a field watch vibe to it, but then I don't know, the circular
the bezel kind of looks
indices
like a
kind of
diver.
I'm starting to get like dive, but then it's like not actually.
And then it's on a NATO strap
Yeah,
that's also kind of.
yeah. Okay,
We should move
but
on.
still very interesting. Yeah. We you could get lost in a carrier like this.
Yeah.
So, thank you to Corey Jenks. This is the last of our picks from the Facebook group.
Hmm.
So we'll jump into some submissions from our Discord. So this one is from B Saud.
Mm,
B Saud, and what do we got
excellent.
here?
Oh,
This is definitely not yellow.
let's start with the utility blade again. So you were just talking about looking into the options of like the more premium utility blade. So Big Idea Design
Yeah.
makes this really really cool one, and I've been talking to B-Sod about this one, and he's been
Uh
giving
huh.
praise about it. Like he says the action is great. It's easy to take apart when you're cleaning it and stuff. I think it
Oh.
runs on bearings, ceramic bearings, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's a
Uh-huh.
really nice action. You can see clearly he's been using it because look at that clip. And
So is it a flipper deployment into a
yes,
titanium frame lock?
yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then it's a utility blade. Yeah, which doesn't require a screw also. So it's a toolless utility blade that has a
Hmm.
bottle opener if you want to look it up. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. And this is Big Idea Designs,
Yeah,
and they did
they did
like
the
the
they did
TPT
the
slide.
yeah, and they did the fixie that I'm carrying lately
Oh,
also.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
they got a
like
lot of
they
cool
kind of
stuff.
know,
Yeah,
yeah, they have some experience making utility tools and
yeah.
stuff. So very cool. I believe this is a titanium key bar.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
that's his.
I don't know what this is.
I think it's a whistle.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would make sense. It's on a like a
yeah.
ball and chain.
And I was talking to
Uh,
him about the flashlight as well. That's a Raylight mini pineapple titanium, I believe. And he modded
mm,
it himself to have like the Nichia 519A de-domed, all of the enthusiast terms.
de-domed?
Yeah, de-domed.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's basically like top level enthusiast baseline meta for the
Yeah.
Nichia 519A. It
So,
lowers the it changes the tint to something nicer and but lowers the output. So yeah, so
okay,
that's a
I'm
trade-off.
curious. Like I've seen some of those words and like I my roots in EDC were in the flashlight enthusiast community, but
Mhm.
like the meta has evolved like so
Oh
much
yeah.
um that I'm wondering if the people watching or listening would be interested in us doing like a deep dive with someone who de-domes stuff for fun. For
It's
like if we want to shine, light on that whole world, like I'm
yeah,
sure we can find no pun intended, but
yeah,
I'm sure we could find somebody who'd be willing to sort of talk about why the flashlight enthusiast community and modding scene is so cool.
yeah.
Maybe there's something there.
And just to
I don't
just
know. Leave a comment and let us know if that's something you're
yeah, and
interested
just
in.
kind of like a bite-sized look into it. It's interesting to the enthusiast because number one, it's like I mentioned, Convoy and what was the other one?
Suffering.
Sofern. They
Sofern.
sell
Yeah.
really, really affordable hosts that a lot of people can go into, and then they modify the internals. They change the LED on it. They change the switches on it. They can anodize it and whatever. They can get really crazy with personalizing it, even down to
Mm-hmm.
like the interface. Like the Endural interface is a really popular software that lets you really, really customize. Even with just a single button, you can do like party mode and stuff like that. And then it gets people's
Okay.
electronics DIY thing going with all of like the soldering and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like how easy is it from a technical standpoint to get into? Because like for example, I would mod Game Boys and
Mhm.
like I had to learn soldering and like reading schematics and
Yeah.
understanding like electronics and stuff.
From what
So
I've
that might
seen,
be
I think it's not like programming your own computer or anything. It's connecting wires to the LED, it's connecting wires to the circuit board and all of that, and making sure that the battery
mhm,
current is correct and all of that. So it's a lot of and it's a lot of basic electronic stuff, right? You have a power source
yeah.
that you're trying to connect to a to a light bulb basically, and it's just a few levels of complexity down that hole. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so it might be
I
interesting. Yeah.
could Yeah, I could see like especially if you're somebody who like runs Android instead of iPhone
Mm,
and maybe builds their own mechanical keyboards
yeah.
and like you just like customizing your stuff.
Yeah.
I think that this could be an
There's a lot
interesting
of
little sub niche
intersect.
hobby.
Yeah. People
Yeah,
building
yeah,
and lubing their own keyboards and stuff like that, and flashlight people and Android people and general device people modding the Raspberry
yeah,
Pis and all of that. So yeah.
yeah. So speaking of modding, I'm looking at a native strap on a G-Shock Square. I don't think that this is standard either. No.
No, I think
Yeah.
there have been discussion in the Discord about people getting aftermarket. I think it's, what do you call those? Is it a lug attachment point for the G Shock? I forget
Ye-
what the exact term is.
Maybe an end link. They might call it an end
Yeah, it
link,
could be, but yeah, it converts the normal G Shock.
like resin strap
Yeah,
feed into
something that accepts a
like a
normal
standard
NATO strap. Yeah,
spring bar. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah,
Cool. I'm wearing the G Shock, but it's like not
yeah.
modded. So
Cool.
this one's cool. So I think we spoke a lot on it. I One last thing I do appreciate like this little
The
what is this like
problematic
RFID
file.
tag?
Yeah,
Yeah, like I just have mine hanging on the outside of my keys with like a sticker of my dog on it, but
Hmm.
maybe I should throw this in my key case. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
So cool. So thank you to BSOD for submitting that one.
yeah.
And then oh, we're back to yellow.
Here we go.
We're back to yellow with Vans Man. Ultimate setup for the upcoming summer. Clean, mean, and minimal is what they said.
Yeah.
So we can zoom in a little bit more on this. And what do we got here?
So it's a lot of the greatest hits of what we were mentioning earlier. Like there's a bead there, small compact tools. But what I really like is we've talked about this before. This Ridge wallet that he customized, just like knife scales that you can get aftermarket scales for. He
Mm.
customizes Ridge wallet with Ultim scales. So
I
this is
think this
really
is
interesting.
G10. No,
Is
I
it?
think this is G10. Yeah,
Oh,
because
right,
look,
right,
compared
right,
to the rest
right,
of
right, right.
the
You're right. You're
yeah,
right. Sorry, sorry.
this stuff is Ultim.
Right,
This
right,
is
right.
yellow G10.
True, true,
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I That would be crazy to have an actual Ultim Ridge wallet scale.
Yeah.
That seems hard to do.
And I've been
But yeah,
waiting.
this is definitely aftermarket. This is not
Yeah,
like stock official Ridge,
yeah.
by the way.
I have been waiting for G10 because I like how grippy it is on knives. So like on a wallet, I
Mm,
think it would make a lot of sense. We should pitch that internally. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we'll see.
small compact pen. Even his hook. Notice his hook is Ultim also, or it could be like a
Yeah,
yellow
is this?
plastic, but it
Yeah,
matches, right?
I would imagine it's like turning my head. I think it's Ultim.
Yeah.
And then what is this pen? Are these like aftermarket Ultim shells for existing pens?
I
Because
think
it
that's
looks like
specifically an Ultim pen. If I
okay,
were
but it
to
has
venture
like
a guess,
a barcode on it, which makes me think it's like a disposable, pen that you just buy one of at a time.
could be. You know who
Is this a
would
barcode?
You know who would make
Am
something
I
like this?
tripping?
You know, Maritac would make something, or Countycom would make something like this, like an
Uh
aftermarket
oh yeah, yeah,
enclosure
yeah,
for
yeah.
something. Yeah, we should check it out. Yeah, because there's like an O-ring
Yeah.
in the middle of it, and like, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And then can you recognize this knife?
Rubato. I think that's an O knife as well.
Oh, it's an O knife. Okay,
Let me double
and it's
check.
got a crossbar lock here. You could see the spring in it.
Yes, it's an O knife
It's like
rubato. That's right.
okay. What's the steel on that?
There's I'm not sure which model it is.
Mm.
There is about 4 models already, so I'm not sure. Let me double check. S35VN. Wow, premium.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Olight Rubato 4 in drop point. It has a crossbar lock in Ultem, and it's
Mm-hmm.
S35VN. So pretty premium.
Oh, how much would that cost?
120 is the SRP.
That sounds. Yeah, I was gonna say just over 100, I think.
Yeah.
And then it's on this. What I'm guessing is a microfiber towel.
That's Animal Crossing, isn't it?
Yes, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure this is the Animal Crossing leaf.
Right.
So
I love seeing. Remember when we had like the Attack on Titan beads from before,
yeah. Oh
and now
yeah,
we're
and the
getting like
She-Ra.
gaming stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of gaming stuff, should I just
Mm.
jump into the gaming one?
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's also a
So thank you.
Pac-Man. That's also a modified Pac-Man bead right there. Speaking of
Oh,
games.
Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, the Vans Man, for your submission in our Discord server. And speaking of gaming stuff, let's jump to Reddit.
Ooh.
We're at r/everyday carry. This is from WF6R.
Mm-hmm. This is a
Yeah.
Bernard carry if I've ever seen one. Pseudo Bernard
Yeah,
carry.
I think I've owned like not I haven't owned this leather coins. I actually don't know what you would have a leather pirate coin for. But I
Leather
definitely had the
coin.
Robivon A6 and the Leatherman Squirt. This was a long time ago,
Yeah.
but
We're
it's
getting
gone
all
now.
the
But
classics.
this
I
one
love
is
it.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. This one is interesting. An Anbernic RG Nano. So Anbernic, they make like these portable handheld consoles that are like emulation based. Like this is cool and this is fun and all, and I did sort this out. This is not like a personal like I just like this so I'm gonna curate it, but it was one of the highest upvoted um, posts within the past month, which is interesting to me because that means other people on our sub are interested in these types of items,
I
which I
am
wasn't really expecting.
I am just now realizing how small this emulator is.
Yes, so that's why I wanted to mention this. Is first of all, like it's cool, but I guess it makes sense that like our demographic, I would imagine, is 25 and older guys. So if which is like me, right? Like I'm in my I was gonna say early 30s, but that's questionable at this point.
Mm.
So we grew up with Game Boys, and we're kind of nostalgic, and this is just cool to add to the EDC.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, it is very small to the point that like, how can you see this or play on this like with any level of skill? So
Exactly. You're playing like
yeah,
turn-based stuff on that, or like Pokemon, and
yeah. Yeah, not platforming,
no,
not
you're not playing
shoot 'em
Mario on
ups.
that. No way.
Yeah, nothing like that. But really cool. This whole setup could probably fit in your coin pocket, which I think
True.
is cool.
Yeah. And I like how he even put like a lanyard on it with a matching EDC knot and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect
Pretty
like
cute.
teal pink combination. Really, yeah, nice combo too.
Yeah, so just some interesting stuff to consider. It's not your usual EDC essentials. Like I would argue, like this, the coin and the console aren't essential, but man, if
Mhm.
you enjoy it and you got small pockets,
This is actually my first time seeing a leather coin. I never thought to think of
yeah,
a coin form factor in leather. That's pretty cool.
yeah. Pretty cool. So thank you, WF6R. Let's
Hmm.
jump into another one. Speaking of coins, this is our most popular in the past week or so.
Mm.
1 year clean carry from Leroy Jenkins.
Wow. Speaking of
Yeah.
classic, man,
Yeah,
who still
sorry. Yeah.
remembers?
I don't know why I read it that way. It just came out. I'm pretty sure that's the reference, but
Yeah, man, who still
Leroy
remembers Leroy
Jenkins.
Jenkins? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's Leroy Jenkins right into this picture
Hmm.
and zoom in real close. So props to them for celebrating their 1 year clean milestone. This is
Mm.
like one of the uses of these coins, right?
Yeah.
It's like they could be commemorative.
Hmm.
Um, and then aside from that, you got the Workos FC13,
Well
I
loved
think.
Workos.
Yeah, Workhorse FC13. You got a Tucson D2 blade with a titanium
Anodized.
handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victorinox Swiss tool. It's also classic.
You know,
And then a
when you
Sharpie
were
pen.
zoomed out, I thought that said Victorinox Supreme because it's the white on red.
No, no,
No,
no. Supreme has only done. Well, actually, have they done collabs with Victorinox? Most
maybe
likely.
the classic or something like
Yeah,
pure
or like a
red.
Swiss card, but
Yeah.
not their pliers based multi tool. That was Leatherman. I
Mm.
have one, still dead stock, like the hype beast that I am,
PM
waiting to
offers. PM
flip that
offers.
later. Yeah. Uh, so yeah,
And
this is I like this. This is just like well loved.
oh,
Seems like they're taking things slow.
I wanted to point out, remember in our pen episode, I was saying that people love Sharpies, and here's a perfect Sharpie gel pen that I mentioned. So
Hmm.
somebody's actually carrying one. I got to try these out, actually. I've heard really
Yeah,
good things about the gel Sharpie, and
yeah.
yeah,
See if it passes the Martha
left-handed
left
test.
hand
Yeah.
smudge test. Yeah. Um, So yeah, there's some more information here. Total $122. How did they do that? Ah,
Uh,
okay. They thrifted the Swiss
thrifted.
tool for $15. Yeah.
Wow,
The
that is, and
Tucson
yeah,
is
that's a
like
really
pretty
good
cool.
deal. Swiss
Yeah.
tools can be expensive. They're like over
Yeah,
$80 at the
Victorinox like
least.
yeah commands kind of a premium brand cachet now, you know.
Hmm.
So um,
Yeah, but also, yeah,
cool stuff.
props again. 1 year, you deserve the coin for sure.
Yeah.
Congratulations for sure.
So I love that. I love when people carry something every day to remind them of like a goal or accomplishment. I think some like that's utility in itself, right? If it's
Mm,
helping you live the life you want to. So
very
thank you to
wise. Very
Leroy
wise.
Jenkins, 1 year clean. I hope on episode 89 of the Carry the Way podcast. I don't know that we're looking at your 2 year clean carry. So let's jump into some more from our subreddit. This one is Done for the Day by AZ Bay Tooligan.
Hmm.
And this one's pretty compact. You got your iPhone Pro with your MagSafe power bank. You got your SOG Terminus XR in an orange handle, Apple Watch Ultra, and the ArcField Pro in racing stripes.
You know what this vibe gives me? It's like normal everyday urban person starting to get into EDC, and then they see like a nice
Sure.
Olight which has a cool laser on it, sold, and then you get a nice
Uh-huh.
bright orange knife that's also a flipper to try, and
Yeah.
then sold, and then yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if this person is actually like new to EDC. I think
Yeah.
they're
No, I'm
saying they're
just that's
coming
totally
from
just the vibe.
oh
There's just
just
immediate
yeah,
vibe. Yeah.
yeah, it's just what it's giving. Yeah.
Yeah.
They said they're coming from the Benchmade bug out to the SOG Terminus for the additional weight and
Ooh.
they love it.
Okay.
So I think that's interesting because the
Yeah, the
SOG
Grivery.
Terminus XR. Yeah. So just for some context, maybe all of you guys know this by now, but back when the bug out came out and Benchmade still had the patent on their Axis lock, the crossbar style lock. That was a really good knife, and it was like ultra light and it had like perfect EDC proportions and like very performant and coming from Benchmade, so that was like super popular. But then the one complaint people had about the bug out was like the Grivery scales are too
It had its own
flexy and lightweight.
it
Yeah,
had its own bend gate. Speaking of
yeah,
Apple
you
stuff.
could yeah, you could bend it like or like in your palm if you squeeze hard enough, like
Mhm.
the scales flex. But then not too long after when the patent expired and other companies started to make their own crossbar style lock knives, SOG had the XR lock, which is what you see here,
Mhm.
and they did the Terminus. Um,
One of our
that originally
favorites.
started as a slip joint, by the way. The Terminus started as a slip joint. I was like, that's sick. I like seeing that SOG is doing less ultra tactical EDC stuff.
Mhm.
And then after the first Terminus slip joint, they did the XR with the flipper tab and the thumb studs and the ambidextrous XR lock. So super cool. And it's just interesting that they wanted to go to this as a side grade for more weight,
Mm.
and I guess just a more robust feeling handle.
Yeah.
But both are recommended knives from my list in my experience anyway.
That's a nice aftermarket strap for the Apple Watch also. That
Yeah,
seems like
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
Dispatch would make. It looks like a Dispatch.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
very like kind of military, kind of bag nerd kind of thing.
Fidlucky,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then the Arcfeld Pro.
I haven't seen this.
Uh,
I don't know if this is like a limited edition one. I've never seen this
yeah,
racing stripe on it.
it's called Racing Stripes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's pretty recent. People seem to like it. I see it a lot on Reddit actually.
yeah. I'm big. I'm a
So
big fan of the rectangular double side by side lights. In no matter from who brand, I like all of them. So I love seeing it.
yeah, yeah. We did like kind of touch on the future of flashlights being rectangular,
Mm,
that kind of meta, and I think a lot of people, at least in the comments when we posted that video, a lot of them agreed and they kind of liked their rectangular lights.
mm.
Only a few people were still on the cylindrical light train,
Because it makes sense,
but
right? It's flat. You're
yeah,
used to it if you've been carrying a knife, also, because it's the same
yeah.
profile and it doesn't roll off the table. I've had flashlights roll off the table. It's nasty.
It just
Yeah,
carries better.
yeah,
It just
exactly.
carries better in your pocket
Yeah,
than like
it's
the
an interesting
cylindrical
form
stuff.
factor.
Yeah, so return your Malkoff, pick up an
Yeah,
Olight, the superior
made a
light brand.
mistake.
No, just
Oh,
kidding. No, Malkoff, you're dope. Sorry.
yeah.
Um, okay, so that one was cool. Thank you to AZ Baytool.
Is it by chance, or did we just land on an orange one that was also highly upvoted in this? We're hitting a theme. We're hitting the orange, and
Yeah, there's a lot of orange and yellow going on. So
that was very
let's see.
unplanned. Like we were putting this together, and it was like these were the most
Yeah,
upvoted. We're hitting a theme.
yeah. So maybe that's just speaking to the current meta. Maybe we're as we're heading into the summer, people are wanting these brighter,
It's true.
more colorful options.
Spring
So
orange, spring yellow.
here's none of that.
Okay.
Back to the classics. OD Green and Coyote Tan. So here's an older EDC pick from LHBNR 32.
Mm.
This is a classic Maxpedition pocket organizer with a
What you were just talking about,
Benchmade
a
bug
bug
out.
out.
Yep. S30V.
Another Olight.
Yep. An Olight.
Another big idea
Kind of a
design.
pen light. This is a big idea design box cutter type tool, right?
Another
The TFT
Leatherman.
slide that I was talking about. Yeah, and then this is the Leatherman rebar.
Yeah.
And then
In the
how do we
classic,
pronounce how do we pronounce this brand?
it's Nipex. I love it.
Nipex.
Just
Yeah.
how the
So we're gonna say Nipex, just so that people comment to correct us, and it helps the algorithm.
And again, in the classic Maxpedition pouch, I love it. It's the
Yeah.
proto EDC meta pouch, the
Yeah.
Maxpedition. Okay,
This is the father of all
yeah,
EDC pouches. Yeah.
where it all
And then
began.
I think this is probably like a
Yeah, standard
mini
pry
pry
bar.
bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who makes the mini pry bar? Is it CountyCom?
CountyCom
It
makes
just
some.
seems like a CountyCom thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I've seen a lot from
Yeah.
CountyCom. I've seen a bunch of makers on Etsy make them also. Yeah. But it's exactly first thing that comes to your mind. This looks like something Maritac branded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's like nothing for me to really critique on this because it covers so many functions. Okay, actually, maybe it might be redundant. Maybe there's some redundancy. So I guess it depends on your philosophies towards EDC, but like having a solid state multi-tool with a utility blade might be redundant to having a Leatherman and a knife, but then you also have your own
Pliers.
mini pliers, right? So it's like there's an overlap there. But if you're gonna go with the redundancy like maximalist approach, if you can do it all in a single Maxpedition pouch, then like that's dope too. So again, it's not really a complaint, it's just like an observation.
Yeah. And it's a good choice also specifically for the rebar because it's like the larger ones wouldn't fit in that slot. And that's like nice.
Yeah.
Takes up just enough room to fill that one slot. That one.
Yeah. If you were to let's like have a little game here. If you were to replace one thing, what would you take out and what would you replace with it?
I'd probably merge the utility blade and the pry bar into something longer to fill up that space and also be more robust. So I don't know. I can't think of something that comes to mind that fits both being a pry bar and a utility blade that's also about as long as a folded bug out. But that's the
Mm-hmm.
consolidation I would have there. Maybe a shorter
Mm,
flashlight also, just to be like in line more with the others. i3T instead of the i3T Plus, which is that one.
yeah.
And maybe a
Okay, I
smaller
could see it.
Canipex, or is that the smallest one? Is that the XS 8701125? That might
I
be
don't
the
think it's
XS.
the smallest. It looks kind of big.
Yeah,
Yeah. The smallest one, also don't think they dip the handles. But
true, true.
I think I would remove the Knipex altogether actually,
Mm-hmm.
because you have the rebar.
Fair.
And then I would keep the pry bar and the box cutter
Mm-hmm.
because like, man, why would I keep the pry bar? Ah, you never
You
know.
never know.
You never know. But I would add a pen. I think I would add a pen.
Oh yeah, I completely glazed
Yeah.
over a pen or like a
Yeah.
Sharpie or something to fit the
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a working toolkit theme. Maybe a Sharpie. Yeah.
Like I use the Zebra PM
Oh
701.
yeah,
So this is a
perfect.
stainless
Yeah,
steel permanent marker. I would just
perfect.
slot. This is maybe too big, but there's probably some cool like permanent marker or like compact pen solution that could go in there.
Yeah.
And I think just add one more functionality and but still have a generally fairly robust
Mm.
and slightly redundant
Tape
pouch
measure is
setup.
another one I would add.
Hmm. Well, that's not. Oh well, you have measuring marks
Like
here.
a tailor's tape. So it's you could sneak it in between stuff, so it's soft.
I'm not gonna question what that use case is that you're describing. So thank you very much to LHBNR32 for your older EDC pick. I'm curious to see
The
if you've
newer one.
updated it and what your newer one looks like. So be sure to share to our subreddit there.
Yeah.
And this, like, no hate to LH again. Like this is a sick setup, but I got to throw in one last bonus submission and my favorite pouch setup that I've seen in recent memory. This is the everyday carry on the cheap from heavyweight sound underscore L. I'm
Mm,
familiar with holding those, and I want to get familiar with an EDC pouch like this. It's very clearly labeled high vis.
mm.
Let's zoom in
Fits
a
our
little bit
yellow
on
theme.
there. Yeah, it fits the yellow theme. You could see that it's definitely handmade by an artisan
Yeah.
here. It's not perfectly
Full
machine made
full
here.
DIY vibes for sure.
Full DIY vibes,
Yeah.
and you can see
Yeah.
their craftsmanship and penmanship as well.
Sure.
So you got the OXO Good Grips potato peeler.
Mm-hmm.
Um, OXO Good Grips, they're just like very good modern design,
Yeah.
uh,
Reliable.
utility driven, yep, ergonomic,
Probably a buy
and
it for
just
life.
frankly good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see that this one is well loved.
Hmm.
Here we have a fully fully serrated. Uh,
Probably
I'm guessing
used.
this is a ceramic custom of some sort.
Yeah.
So this one
Yeah,
looks
ceramic
good. You
because you
could
can
definitely,
see it's chipped. Yeah, so one reason you would choose a
yeah, yeah,
ceramic blade over like a standard steel blade, it keeps an edge forever, but then it chips if it taps onto
yes,
something. So clearly, this is a ceramic.
yeah. Right. So it's good to have this combination of CPM MagnaCut here on the potato peeler
Yeah,
and ceramic
and it's a
on the
one-piece
blade.
ceramic
Just
full tang. That's
yeah,
really I've
yeah.
never seen that before. That's really
Just so
cool.
you have that option.
Yeah.
Uh, Here we have this little ducky Pez dispenser,
Mm.
and personally, when I'm getting brain fog, I could use a little bit of glucose in
Yeah.
my
Bit of
system. Just
sugar.
some sugar to the brain
Yeah.
keeps me sharp,
Hmm.
and I don't think there's a better pocketable, portable, instant access type of sugar source than the Pez
And we
dispenser.
were talking
I think
about
that's
the
originally what it was designed
and
for.
we were talking about the rectangular meta, right? Like it's the same form
True,
factor as a knife. It slips
true.
right into aligned with the
This
rest of your
pouch.
pockets. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then once you've had sugar in your mouth, what do you need to do right after?
Find a different toothbrush to use
Yes,
than the one in your EDC pouch. This
exactly.
one has seen better days, but
Mm.
we do appreciate patina and well-loved gear.
And not wasting
Um,
stuff, like
true,
landfills getting filled with
true.
plastic. Possibly another ceramic body also.
Yeah, like when you use your gear, to prolong the use of your gear, you need to keep it clean, right?
True.
Just basic maintenance helps your gear perform better and last longer
Mm-hmm.
and just get more of your money's worth. So I think it's important to invest in a high quality custom cleaning brush like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so not everyone is sort of on that wave yet, but I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
that heavyweight sound underscore L was able to show us how to do it. And they're kind of flexing. They're saying on the cheap, but
Yeah,
we
we
know
know.
from the
Yeah,
Magna Cut and the
we've got the
ceramic.
experience. We can identify
Yeah,
these
we
things.
can tell that
Yeah,
you're kind of flexing with
yeah.
this
Don't
one.
sandbag us, bro.
Yeah.
We know.
So yeah. But that was a great submission to
Yeah.
round it out. So I think that just about wraps it up for today's episode. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. And if you did, please subscribe. And if you're listening through a podcast service and you really enjoy what we do here, please consider leaving a review and a positive rating, as it would really help the podcast. And you know what would really help the podcast? If you just told your friends about it, I think that would be great. Just be like, hey, there's some like cool EDC stuff
Or
in
like,
podcast form.
you could tell your phone to search to play you an EDC podcast, and maybe we pop up in
Yeah.
the AI suggestions.
Yeah. So someone in our Discord server found our server because they said, "Hey Google" or "Hey Siri, play a Everyday Carry podcast," and then it did play. I think my
Oh.
okay, it might yeah. I gotta chill with that. It's actually playing. It's actually
It
playing.
worked. It
Carried
worked.
away on my phone. So yeah, let me pause that. But yes, you can do that. Tell your friends about Carried Away. And you can follow us on social media for more content daily on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All of that will be linked below. And if you want to be part of our EDC community, feel free to hop into our Facebook group and Discord server for more real-time discussion with other EDCers. We showed you what their EDCs look like. They're legit. Everyone's cool. So come on in. And lastly, if you have any feedback for us or questions you want answered on the show, you can shoot us an email at podcast@everydaycarry.com. So thank you again so much for tuning in to this episode of Carry the Way. I'm Bernard.
I'm Mikey, and let us know the last yellow thing you carried.
Yeah. And until the next one, peace.